What I will also say is that as we spin up these new programs, we're going to eventually want to look for partnerships for them, and so that will be paramount to our strategy. But I think our objective as a company is always to bring these through phase 2 proof of concepts or later stage phase 2s, and then as we head into phase 3s, determine are there great partners that need would like to collaborate with us. There's a lot of pharmaceutical companies out there that have some massive liabilities in the pain and addiction space because of the opioid crisis. I think eventually these type of companies are going to need to prove to society that they're doing something to help solve these problems. And I think we are going to be very well placed as a company in the future around this.
That was J.R. Ron, former CEO of Mind Medicine, talking about potential major pharmaceutical partnerships for the company. Now, we don't know for sure who these partners will end up being, but MindMed has discussed quite a few times in the past that they do want these partners. Now, despite not knowing who the partner will end up being, there has been a rumor out there circulating in the Redditverse for about 6 months. Now, I know that a lot of you guys may not have seen this rumor, so that is why we decided to end up doing a video on it, but it's super important to me that you guys all understand this is placed squarely in the speculation zone, because this is just that. It's just speculation, it's just a rumor. Now, with that big disclaimer out of the way, the rumor is that MindMed will eventually be partnering up with Johnson & Johnson in some form, specifically when it comes to 18MC. Now, there is actually, depending on how you look at it, either a decent amount of evidence to point this up, or just a bunch of coincidences. And to be completely honest with you guys, I don't know which camp I fall in, if I think that this is coincidences or if I think that this is genuine evidence. So just make sure that you take this video with a massive grain of salt, and don't take this information to the bank, but maybe you can take it to the casino. This is James from the Psychedelic Investor, and if you enjoy this episode, like, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell, and let me know down in the comment section if you want to see more episodes take place in the speculation zone. Enjoy the episode. Welcome to the Speculation Zone. Reminder that what is said in the Speculation Zone is just that. Speculation. If you think that something I said is wrong and you have some information to disprove it, please let us all know down in the comment section. If you have a link, even better. It will help out the entire community. Now, having said that, let's hop right into it. So the majority of the speculation that MindMed and Johnson & Johnson will eventually partner up in some fashion revolves around the drug 18MC. Now, just as a very brief reminder, 18MC is MindMed's proprietary drug that they hope can treat addiction, starting with opioid use disorder. It is derived from the extremely hallucinogenic drug ibogaine, which has been shown in trials to maybe be effective in treating addiction, though 18MC itself is not hallucinogenic. If you guys want to learn more about 18MC, I'll link an explainer video at the end of this one. The first piece of evidence that we have is that we know that in the past MindMed intended to find a strategic pharma partner for 18MC in the second half of this year, 2021. So this is a screenshot from the September 2020 investors deck that MindMed used to have on their website. You can clearly read that in the second half of 2021, MindMed has plans to find a, quote, strategic pharma partner potential for 18MC. However, since December, this has been removed from the investors deck. But as you heard in the opening of this episode, finding large pharmaceutical companies to partner with in some fashion or another is a long to medium term goal of the company. Now, there are two reasons that I can see why this piece of information would be removed from the investors deck. First, the company decided they did not need a strategic partner after all, and they could commercialize 18MC all on their lonesome. After all, if you read it closely, in the original mention, it did just say a potential partner. And since MindMed has risen an additional like $100 million plus, it is possible that they decided a partner would just slow them down and they did not need them. They got the money in the bank and they can do it themselves. But I think there is a simpler explanation for its removal. If we look at the expected drug development timeline for 18MC when this September 2020 investors deck was published, we can see that they originally planned to start their phase 2A trial in Q4 of 2020, with an expected end date of July 2021. Once they finished the phase 2A trial, they would search for a partner. And here we are in July of 2021, and phase 2A trials haven't started yet. And that is because MindMed has expanded their phase 1 trials in December to include higher dose levels of 18MC, meaning that the phase 1 isn't set to finish until Q4 of this year, with phase 2A trials starting either then or in Q1 of 2022, and therefore under this new timeline, phase 2A trials shouldn't be finished until Q3 of 2022. So if the timeline MindMed was following internally was to find a partner for 18MC during their phase 2B trials, this would, at the earliest, be in Q3 of 2022, or basically a year from now. So them taking down the potential partner for 18MC doesn't necessarily mean that this won't happen, just that it's not going to happen this July. Still with me? All right, perfect. Okay, so you may be saying at this point that, okay, James, I can understand the speculation that MindMed might be looking for a pharma partner for 18MC in general. But where is the speculation that it will be Johnson & Johnson? And for this, we have to give massive credits to Reddit user Twigs462. He was the one that brought our attention to this about 6 months ago, so he is a veritable MindMed hero. Unfortunately, I couldn't actually find his original version of his post, seeing as he's been updating it over the last few months, but we do have an updated version here, so we're going to go ahead and work with that. As Twigs rightly points out, if you go to clinicaltrials.gov, you can see that the 18MC phase 1 clinical trial, if you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see that the central contact person is Rob Barrow, who recently became CEO of MindMed. So nothing fishy there. Everything seems to check out. But if you just turn the pages back a little bit, if you go back a few months and look at January 2021 version of this doc, you will see that the contact people mentioned are people called Jason Suma and Jamie Friedman. So, who are Jason Suma and Jamie Friedman? Well, it just so turns out, wink wink coincidence maybe, that both Jason and Jamie used to work at Janssen, a division of ding ding ding, Johnson & Johnson, and both were currently still listed as working for Janssen when their names first appeared on this MindMed doc. For Jason, he first appeared as a contact person for the 18MC study in July of 2020 while he was still working for Janssen, though, to be fair, he did leave the very next month in August, and as far as I can tell, he now has no role in either Johnson & Johnson or MindMed. For Jamie Friedman, she first appeared as a contact person for the 18MC trial in October, while she too was working for the Johnson & Johnson company Janssen. She stayed there, at Janssen until July 2021, so this month, when she left to become, you guessed it, MindMed's director of clinical operations. And this is the crux behind the theory that MindMed is secretly working with Johnson & Johnson on 18MC behind the scenes. MindMed used to say that they would look for a pharmaceuticals partner for their 18MC trials, and the two people that were listed as contacts for their phase 1 trials worked, at the time, coincidence among coincidences, for Johnson & Johnson's company, Janssen. And add to this, of all the major pharma companies, J&J is the only one that actually seems to be actively pursuing psychedelics as a healing mechanism. For example, the company already has a ketamine nasal spray called Spravato that is used against depression. So it would make sense that J&J would be looking at other psychedelic medicines companies and compounds as well. So just taking this on a surface level, it certainly does seem possible that MindMed planned on partnering in some form at least with Johnson & Johnson. But could this just be a huge coincidence? Could we be looking way too much into this? I mean, yeah, of course we could. Of 100%, this could just be all coincidences. After all, neither of these people still work for Janssen, and other than a couple of Reddit sleuths, we have not seen any evidence of this. A J&J MindMed partnership, therefore, would have to be put squarely into the speculation or rumor category. In general, I personally am leaning towards this being something more than just a pure coincidence, but that again is just my own personal speculation. I don't have any more information on this than what we just provided you, so we can't do much other than just keep our ears to the ground, keep listening, and keep trying to find more information. And on that note, if you guys have any information on this, either furthering the case or disproving it, let me know down in the comment section, or you can even get in touch directly through our email. The email is in the description below. Part of the reason that we actually built this channel in the first place was to help crowdsource information, so if you know something, say something. And on that note, what do you guys think? Do you think that these Reddit detectives have put the pieces together and have found something that we're not supposed to see yet? Or are we just reading way too much into this? I want to know your opinions down in the comment section. This is James from the Psychedelic Investor. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, comment, hit that notifications bell, share with your friends and family, and all that good stuff. I'll see you next time.